Can Kanye West and Kid Cudi really put years of tension behind them, or are fans reading too much into a few recent moments? It's a question that has sparked endless debate across social media and the music world. For more than a decade, Kanye West and Kid Cudi have shared one of hip-hop's most fascinating relationships. They've been close friends, groundbreaking collaborators, creative partners, and, at times, outspoken critics of each other. Their story has been filled with unforgettable highs and painful lows, making every new interaction between them headline news. Long before their friendship became complicated, Kanye recognized something special in Kid Cudi. Cudi's unique style, emotional songwriter, and willingness to be vulnerable stood out in an era when many rappers focused on confidence and bravado. Kanye saw that originality and welcomed him into his creative circle. It wasn't long before the two artists began working together, helping shape a sound that would influence hip-hop for years. Their early collaborations quickly became fan favorites. Cudi's melodies and introspective lyrics blended naturally with Kanye's ambitious production. Together, they created music that pushed boundaries and introduced listeners to a more emotional side of mainstream rap. Many fans still consider that period one of the most creative eras in both artists' careers. As Kanye continued expanding his musical vision, Cudi became an important contributor behind the scenes as well as in front of the microphone. Industry insiders frequently praised the chemistry between the two artists, noting that each seemed to inspire the other creatively. Their partnership wasn't simply about making hit songs, it represented two musicians constantly challenging each other to think differently. For fans, their friendship felt genuine. Interviews, studio footage, and public appearances suggested they shared mutual respect beyond music. Whether they were discussing new ideas or celebrating successful projects, they often appeared comfortable around each other. That connection helped build excitement whenever rumors of another collaboration surfaced. However, success can place enormous pressure on even the strongest friendships. As both artists became global stars with growing responsibilities and personal challenges, maintaining that close relationship became increasingly difficult. Differences in expectations, communication, and career decisions slowly began creating distance between them. Over time, small disagreements seemed to grow into larger issues. Public comments, interviews, and social media posts occasionally hinted that not everything was as positive behind the scenes as fans believed. While neither artist always shared every detail, it became clear that their relationship was becoming more complicated. As speculation increased, fans began wondering whether the creative partnership that had produced so many memorable songs had quietly come to an end. Every interview was analyzed, every social media post examined, and every public appearance discussed in hopes of finding clues about where their friendship truly stood. Despite the growing uncertainty, many listeners continued believing that the bond they had built through music couldn't simply disappear forever. Their shared history was too significant, and the influence they had on each other's careers was impossible to ignore. Even during periods of silence, supporters held on to hope that one day they might find common ground again. Years later, that hope remains alive. Every small interaction between Kanye and Kid Cudi immediately becomes a trending topic, with fans debating whether it signals genuine reconciliation or simply a brief moment of mutual respect. The possibility of seeing them work together again continues to capture the imagination of music lovers around the world. But understanding whether they're truly back on good terms requires looking at everything that happened between them, not just the recent headlines. Their relationship has been shaped by friendship, creativity, misunderstandings, public disagreements, and personal growth. To understand where things stand today, it's important to revisit the moments that changed everything. We'll explore how their friendship began facing serious challenges, the public disagreements that made headlines, and why one of hip-hop's most celebrated partnerships slowly started falling apart. As the years went on, the relationship between Kanye West and Kid Cudi became increasingly difficult to understand from the outside. While they had built an incredible legacy together, cracks in their friendship slowly became more visible. Fans who had once celebrated every collaboration were now paying close attention to interviews, social media posts, and public appearances, searching for clues about what had changed. One of the biggest challenges was that both artists were experiencing major changes in their personal and professional lives. Kanye was constantly reinventing himself, taking creative risks, and expanding into fashion and business, while remaining one of music's most talked-about figures. Kid Cudi, meanwhile, continued carving out his own identity, earning praise for his deeply personal music and his willingness to speak openly about mental health. As their careers evolved, their priorities naturally shifted. They were no longer spending the same amount of time in the studio, and the close collaboration that had once defined their partnership became less frequent. That distance led to growing speculation that their friendship was no longer as strong as it had once been. Over time, public comments from both artists added fuel to those rumors. Fans noticed moments where one seemed disappointed or frustrated with the other. Some interviews hinted at creative disagreements, while social media amplified every misunderstanding. Because both Kanye and Cudi were highly influential figures, even brief comments quickly became major headlines. Their disagreements eventually became impossible to ignore. Supporters who had admired their friendship were disappointed to see the relationship appear so strained. Every new interview or online exchange generated fresh debates about whether the two artists would ever find common ground again. Despite the tension, neither artist could erase the impact they had on each other's careers. Music critics continued highlighting their past collaborations as some of the most influential work in modern hip-hop. Younger artists regularly cited both Kanye and Cudi as inspirations, often pointing to their partnership as proof that vulnerability and innovation could exist together in mainstream music. Many fans believed that history mattered. They argued that creative partnerships often go through difficult periods, and that disagreements don't always mean a friendship is permanently over. Others were less optimistic, believing the public nature of their disputes had created damage that would be difficult to repair. Whenever one artist mentioned the other even briefly, it immediately became news. A simple compliment, a neutral comment, or even avoiding a question entirely would spark thousands of online discussions. Every action was interpreted as either a positive sign or another indication that reconciliation remained unlikely. As time passed, both artists continued focusing on their own projects. Kid Cudi expanded his acting career while releasing new music that reflected his personal growth. Kanye remained one of entertainment's most unpredictable figures, generating headlines for both his artistic work and his public statements. Still, fans never completely stopped hoping. The influence of their earlier work remained so powerful that many believed another collaboration could happen someday if they found the right moment to reconnect. Their shared history was simply too important to ignore. Recently, renewed speculation has emerged after several moments suggested that communication between the two may have improved. While neither Kanye nor Kid Cudi has officially confirmed that they are close friends again, observers have pointed to a handful of interactions that seem more positive than in previous years. Whether those moments represent a genuine rebuilding of their friendship or simply mutual respect between two influential artists remains an open question. What is clear, however, is that interest in their relationship has never disappeared. Fans continue hoping that one of hip-hop's most iconic creative partnerships might eventually write a new chapter. We'll examine the recent developments that reignited reunion rumors, separate confirmed facts from online speculation, and look at what both artists have actually said about each other in recent years. In recent years, the conversation surrounding Kanye West and Kid Cudi has shifted from focusing only on their disagreements to asking whether time has helped heal old wounds. Fans have become especially attentive to every public interaction, hoping to find evidence that the two artists are moving toward a healthier relationship. While excitement has grown online, it's important to separate confirmed events from speculation. One reason reunion rumors continue to spread is the enormous impact both artists have had on modern music. Whenever either Kanye or Cudi is seen attending the same event, mentioning one another, or interacting in any way, social media quickly fills with theories about what it could mean. Some of those theories turn out to be accurate, while others are based entirely on fan interpretation. Over the years, both artists have experienced personal growth, as well as significant public challenges. Their careers have continued evolving, and each has built a lasting influence that extends far beyond music. That maturity has led many people to wonder whether old disagreements now matter less than they once did. Supporters often point to moments where the tension between them appeared to soften. Even brief interactions have been enough to generate headlines, with fans celebrating anything that suggests increased respect between the former collaborators. However, neither artist has consistently confirmed that they have fully restored the close friendship they once shared. Music journalists have also noted that creative relationships in the entertainment industry frequently experience periods of conflict before improving again. Artists often disagree, pursue separate paths, and later reconnect after gaining new perspectives. That possibility keeps hope alive among listeners who would love to hear Kanye and Cudi create music together once more. At the same time, it's worth remembering that public appearances don't always reveal the full story. A photograph, a conversation at an event, or a brief exchange on social media can easily be interpreted in different ways. Without direct confirmation from the artists themselves, many reports remain educated guesses, rather than established facts. What cannot be disputed is the influence of their earlier work. Songs they created together continue attracting new audiences years after their release. Critics regularly describe their collaborations as innovative, emotional, and highly influential, while younger musicians frequently cite both artists as inspirations for blending honesty with experimentation. Fans continue revisiting those classic recordings, imagining what another collaboration could sound like today. Some believe their individual artistic growth could produce an even stronger creative partnership than before. Others simply hope that, regardless of whether they record new music, they have found peace after years of public disagreement. The music industry has seen many famous partnerships break apart and later reunite, proving that relationships can change over time. Whether Kanye West and Kid Cudi ultimately follow that path remains uncertain. For now, the available evidence suggests that there have been moments of improved interaction, but there has been no definitive public confirmation that they have fully returned to the close friendship they once enjoyed. Perhaps that uncertainty is one reason their story continues capturing so much attention. Their relationship has always been about more than headlines. It represents two artists whose combined creativity helped shape an era of hip-hop and influenced countless musicians around the world. Until either Kanye or Kid Cudi clearly explains where their friendship stands today, fans will likely continue watching every interview, performance, and public appearance for clues. Whether a future collaboration happens or not, their shared legacy is already firmly established, and the music they created together continues to leave a lasting mark on the industry. As the story continues to unfold, one thing remains certain: whenever Kanye West and Kid Cudi cross paths, the entire music world pays attention, wondering if the next chapter of their remarkable journey is finally about to begin. Even without an official announcement about the status of their friendship, the possibility of Kanye West and Kid Cudi reconnecting continues to fascinate fans around the world. That level of interest speaks to how important their partnership became during some of the most influential years in modern hip-hop. Their music wasn't just commercially successful, it inspired artists to experiment with emotion, melody, and personal storytelling in ways that changed the genre. Looking back, it's easy to understand why people remain hopeful. When Kanye and Cudi worked together, they often challenged each other creatively. Their different strengths blended into something unique, producing songs that continue to resonate with listeners years after their release. Many fans believe that chemistry cannot simply disappear, even after periods of conflict. However, rebuilding a friendship is often much more complicated than making music together. Public disagreements can leave lasting effects, especially when they unfold under constant media attention. Both artists have lived much of their personal and professional lives in the spotlight, meaning even private issues sometimes became public conversations. That level of attention can make reconciliation far more difficult than most people realize. Another important factor is that both Kanye and Kid Cudi have continued growing as individuals. Their artistic styles, personal experiences, and perspectives have evolved over the years. If they were ever to collaborate again, it would likely reflect who they are today, rather than trying to recreate the past. That possibility excites many fans, who believe their maturity could lead to an entirely new creative direction. At the same time, expectations should remain realistic. Not every famous friendship returns to what it once was. Sometimes former collaborators simply reach a place of mutual respect without becoming as close as they were before. In many cases, that kind of understanding is meaningful in its own right. It allows both people to appreciate each other's contributions while continuing their own separate journeys. For now, the confirmed facts remain limited. There have been moments that suggest improved interactions and reduced public tension, but there has been no definitive statement confirming that they have fully repaired their relationship. Because of that, it's important to avoid treating online rumors as established truth. Social media often amplifies speculation far beyond what the available evidence supports. What is beyond debate is the lasting influence of their shared work. Albums and songs they helped create continue to attract new listeners, proving that their artistic legacy remains strong regardless of where their personal relationship stands today. Fans continue streaming those records, discussing their favorite collaborations, and wondering whether another chapter could eventually be written. Whether that chapter includes a new album, a surprise performance, or simply mutual respect between two influential artists, only time will tell. Until then, the story of Kanye West and Kid Cudi serves as a reminder that creative partnerships can be both incredibly rewarding and deeply complicated. Their journey has included inspiration, success, conflict, growth, and resilience, all elements that make their relationship one of the most talked about in contemporary music. We'll look at what their legacy means for hip-hop, why fans remain invested in their future, and whether a true reunion is something we can realistically expect. As we reach the end of this story, one question still remains: are Kanye West and Kid Cudi truly back on good terms? Based on what has been publicly confirmed, the most honest answer is that there have been encouraging signs of reduced tension, but there is no clear confirmation that they have fully restored the close friendship they once shared. Much of the excitement surrounding their relationship continues to come from fan observations and online speculation, rather than official statements. Even so, their legacy together is already secure. The music they created during their years of collaboration helped reshape hip-hop by blending emotional honesty with innovative production. Countless artists have credited both Kanye and Kid Cudi as major influences, and many listeners still return to those songs because they capture a unique creative partnership that was unlike anything else at the time. One reason people continue following their story so closely is that it feels unfinished. Throughout music history, there have been legendary partnerships that separated, found common ground years later, and surprised audiences with new collaborations. That history gives fans hope that reconciliation is always possible, even after difficult public disagreements. If Kanye and Cudi ever decide to work together again, expectations will undoubtedly be enormous. Fans would want more than nostalgia. They would hope to hear two experienced artists bringing everything they have learned over the years into a fresh creative project. Whether that happens next year or much later, it would almost certainly become one of the biggest moments in modern hip-hop. At the same time, it's important to respect that friendships are personal. Public figures often face pressure to explain every aspect of their relationships, but they are under no obligation to share private conversations or personal decisions. If Kanye and Kid Cudi have chosen to rebuild their connection quietly, that is something only they can fully understand. Perhaps the biggest lesson from their journey is that creative partnerships are rarely simple. Success, personal growth, changing priorities, and public attention can all place enormous strain on even the strongest friendships. Yet their story also reminds us that people can evolve, perspectives can change, and relationships are capable of taking unexpected turns over time. For now, fans can appreciate the remarkable body of work they have already created while remaining open to whatever the future may bring. Whether their next chapter includes another album, a surprise performance, or simply continued mutual respect, their influence on music is undeniable. Until other artist clearly defines the current state of their friendship, the discussion will continue. Every appearance, interview, and musical release will be closely watched by fans eager for new clues. But regardless of what happens next, Kanye West and Kid Cudi have already left a lasting mark on hip-hop history, and their collaborations remain some of the most celebrated work of their careers. What do you think? Are these recent signs enough to suggest that Kanye West and Kid Cudi have finally moved beyond their differences, or do you think fans are reading too much into isolated moments? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want more fact-based stories about music, celebrity relationships, and the biggest entertainment headlines, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload. Thanks for the watching and subscribe.